Oof, wow, what a cracker that was, eh? An absolute gem of a song, and I think that tells a thousand words as well. You know.
It's it's one of those that it's one of those songs, definitely in my like most personal songs that feel like were written about my situation or about a situation where I um sort of went through, and that even listening to that now, I'm feeling like real like tingles in the spine
Mm.
and emotion from it, because it kind of describes that entire situation, that entire time of my life in a 3 4 minute period, which is quite incredible when you think about it, right?
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it kind of describes me hitting that wall of realization, I'd say,
Yeah.
and realizing like, Liam, if you don't change this now, this is going to end badly.
Mm.
And coming from Glasgow, I know a lot of people that have had their lives plagued by alcohol, mothers and fathers, brothers, sisters, even
Yeah.
themselves. And coming from that background, I grew up in a regular sort of town that was sort of a working class town.
Mm.
Drinking was the leisure choice.
That social activity, wasn't
It's
it?
just you do it, as I've been telling you today. So it kind of all hit me at once, and I had this massive, I mean, massive doesn't even put it into play, but this breakdown that
Mm.
just rocked me completely for days. And
What did that look like then? That breakdown.
the girl I was seeing at the time, I knocked it off with her, sadly, and I'd sort of tried to get back with my ex and realised that I wasn't in a good place mentally.
Mhm.
I knew that I had to continue doing something. So therapy was like my sort of salvation, if you want to call it that.
Right.
I'd went a couple of times and talked about some issues, but like with anything, once you open up the can, it just that's you really need to go deep dive. And
Yeah.
so for me, it was that day I remember broke down, was just in such a bad place. I remember crying on the phone, talking to this. I won't name the therapist, but talking to them on the phone about stuff. The 15-minute consultation,
Oh.
just chaos and tears rolling down my eyes and having a panic attack after the phone call had finished, and then a couple of days later going and seeing them in their office and trying to start a relationship together to try and help me with my problems, because I think I realised, Sam, that it wasn't, you know, obviously alcohol was a problem, but it wasn't the reason why I was drinking. Alcohol wasn't the reason why I was drinking.
Yeah.
It was other issues, anxiety, traumas that had occurred over the last few years that I just buried,
It was your coping mechanism.
literally
Yeah.
to a T. And yeah, going back to this whole me being really social, it enabled it.
Mm.
And so I had to really get involved with therapy to try and understand something. I don't think therapy heals you. I think therapy allows you to see something as like face value.
Yeah.
And then from that you can work on it, work on coping mechanisms, work on management to help that. And so for me, it was just a massive breakdown, and realizing that I need to help myself. Like, otherwise I'm just gonna, you know, destroy myself, or, you know, as in the song we just played, you know, the world literally will cave in for me. And so that was a really big moment for me.
Right.
And I didn't really kind of explain that to friends or family, because you don't really, like, you know, I think we come from a generation where we're sort of on that cross guard between talking to people and not talking to people. Not like our dads or our parents, where it would be like, you're a man's man, you get on with it, you just, deal with it, son, deal
Yeah.
with it. Or like people younger than us, maybe in their early 20s or their teens, that are told to, oh, it's okay to speak out about stuff, it's okay to, we were sort of in the middle of that, I think. So there's this confusion. So yeah, that was like sort of that time for me in a nutshell, I guess. So I kind of knew that if I didn't do something about it, if I didn't seek help, I didn't, you know, stop myself, I'd destroy my life. Or as the song says, you know, cave, my whole world cave in, literally. So that's kind of how I knew I needed to reach out and solve some of those issues that I had.
So your method of reaching out then was, you mentioned therapy as one, and some of your friends told you that maybe you should tone it down a bit. But is there any other methods that you used or to change?
Not really. I took the wrong approach, I felt. Not that there is a right approach to changing or to helping yourself, but for me, I sort of lived with it alone because I felt I didn't want to bother anyone, and which is completely the wrong way to look at it because, as we both know, one way check up on your mates, right? Be there for your friends, your brother, your sister, whoever it is can be there for you and obviously wants to listen.
Yeah.
I think there was a sort of slogan going around online for the last couple of years, like I'd rather stay up late night after night than go to your funeral. And that is such a big motivator for me because I read that and I was like, I need that. That was sort of one of the ticks that I need to go and do something about this. So talking to friends and family, talking to my therapist at the time, that really helped me get through that. And over winter, that really allowed me to heal, I guess is the nicest way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm still in that healing process. I don't think I'll ever be the same Liam I was before, but then I was a pain in the arse, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I think you still are, so...
That's just racism, because I'm Scottish, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Disgraceful. But
at least we both agree on that.
Yeah, that's true. At least you're honest. It's hard to get honest friends these days. So exactly. I suppose it's a double-edged sword.
Well, that's where we will lead next then. What's your honesty moment or your almost advice to people listening to this who either can directly relate to what you've been saying or people who can either indirectly relate to what you've been saying?
I'd say reach out. It's easier said than done, I know.
Yeah, okay.
But if you're someone with mental health issues, with substance addiction, or you feel like anything that I've talked about or Sam's talked about today is relevant to you or sticks something in your brain, then, people do care. People really do care. And reaching out, just that, hey, or I'm not doing okay, or such is so powerful. And likewise, if you're listening today and you have a friend, a family member, brother, husband, grandfather, whoever it is, and you feel that some of the stuff we've talked about, reach out to that person that can remind you of. It means the world. I remember a friend's done it to me and it was massive. It made me feel on top of the world. And as we go back again, 108, check up on your mates, isn't it? That's the way it is. So
exactly.
I guess kind of the way to lead it out is, a really massive song from a band that causes some strife in the music music industry, but a band that I've loved since I can remember buying my first Elton John Are You Ready for Love CD for 79 pence out of HMV. This is Everything's Not Lost by Coldplay, and really has a big message in there of, everything's going to be all right. And I know that's so cheesy and so corny, but it will be,
That's what we need sometimes, a bit of cheese.
Bit of cheese, bit of brie, bit of...
Yeah, bit of smelly.
Like your feet. Well, there you go.
All right, well, what a way to end the show. So let's hear it.
Let's do it.
And if you've been listening, I hope you've enjoyed this show. I hope you enjoy this Coldplay song. What's Liam's going to play us out with.
This is going to be the biggest downturn in viewership. And we're going to be like, get that.
We're going to have no listeners after this song, aren't we?
Well, it might be, but
maybe not.
It's a powerful song. And that whole album for me, the Parachutes album, the first one is massive.
Huge, yeah.
I'm totally into it. So,
all right, well, we hope you've enjoyed listening. And this is Coldplay, Play You Out. Stay tuned for the next episode.